Hey, everybody.
Okay, where's the Kool-Aid man?
I don't know. Hey, everybody. Welcome for your daily dose.
Weekly.
Sorry, I say daily. Jesus.
We're not doing this daily.
Yeah, no, God, no. That's way too much.
Right, please, not to like pay us. Welcome, everybody. So I'm here with and I was almost about to say Rich. So again, I'm just Crow and Peach, and God, I don't know why I'm like struggling starting this off. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Busy, but good.
Busy, good.
Less busy than last week because at least I'm not working like I was last week during the Evercast.
I'm about to go to work after this.
Man, oh man. So yeah, we've had an interesting week. Some things may have come out, and we'll definitely.
Yeah, but it's not important because it's not Evercade.
That's funny. That's funny. It's like, yeah, it's not. It's technically not Evercade, so we don't care or anything else. But yeah, let's see who do we have here in the chat. We've got Rusta, we got Archive Gig, we got channel member Immortal Sojourn, and we got channel member Phantom Fiction. What's up, guys? Yeah, I missed you last night, Immortal, when I was streaming them, but maybe I'll see you tonight.
Do you stream every day now, or are there some days where you don't stream?
No. I stream about twice a week. Well, actually, if you include Evercast, it's 3 times. But
I thought your own personal stream. I thought it almost felt like you were streaming every day, but that just might be a coincidence.
I kind of feel twice a week, and actually, I was going to. I had to change my 4th of July stream to now 4th of July weekend. We went to Corpus Christi, Texas, Padre Island, to the beach over the 4th because there's like a hurricane or something coming in Sunday. And so
I heard about that coming.
Yeah. So I switched. I had to move everything. Around, and so I'm a little bit confused. I'm off because
that is going to hit Texas, isn't it?
Yeah. Got to get the family time in, of course, and that's why. Yeah. So I moved everything around, but no, at least twice a week while I still can. And sometimes later, I stream. I don't want to say I stream until I pass out, until I get too tired.
What time do you normally stop your stream? Because normally, I'm in bed and you're streaming. So
last night, I started at 9 and I stopped at 12. But sometimes there've been times where I've started at 10 or 11 and I've been up to 2 or 3.
Oh my God!
I've been slacking off. Normally, I try to get up around 5:30.
Yeah. I do need to change my schedule around because last week my wife was like, it's 9 a.m. and you're still in bed. I'm like, sorry, I know. But it's all it's all good. So yeah, it just kind of depends when I start sooner or later. But usually until I get tired, then it's like.
No, I was really bad the day before because of the fireworks. Our dog normally doesn't have problems with the fireworks, but our neighbors were setting off fireworks and it was really bothering her. And she was trying to get into the bed, and we don't normally let her in the bed because she has a tendency to snap and bite. If you move, she does it without thinking. So no, you can't go into bed. You can't go to bed. She was really uneasy. So I was like, okay, come into bed. But then she got too close to okay, I was like, don't. We were worried she might bite. It's like, you know what? Tell you what, I'll go sleep downstairs. And so instead of going downstairs to sleep, I go downstairs and I go on my computer till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I said, oh, crap, look at the time. I need to go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. You're playing it. Cool, Nathan. Cool.
Oh, yeah, the Euros, yeah. That's going on.
Good stuff. So before we get into the news, I do want to, I felt bad that I forgot polls. But I did do it last week, and so... I've asked
holes. I thought you said holes.
I've asked the chat what type of handheld they. I don't know. This is my own personal quest for wanting the best nostalgia experience to play Game Boy, but I don't know what version of Game Boy, and I'm conflicted because I have more advanced games. And
there's only one right answer. It's the Game Boy.
I really never owned any of them growing up, so I don't really have an opinion on this.
So yeah, so I wanted to ask because I wanted to ask the chat because switch people around. Because the OG Game Boy is the most nostalgic, definitely. But Game Boy Color you can play more. Game Boy Advance you can play the most comfortable. But I don't know. Like at some point,
Well, if you want the most, what was the question exactly? If you want the most authentic experience,
if you had the means to purchase one of the Game Boys with an IPS screen, a chargeable battery, USB charger.
Okay, well, here's the thing. It's like if you want the most improved the most comfortable experience, the options, whatever is most comfortable for you. That might be an individual thing.
Yeah, it's hard to make that guess, right? So I would say GBA because it just makes the most sense.
I mean, it's also, you could also go down to like any type of emulation device, anything that can emulate those things as well. It doesn't even have to be hardware, the original hardware. But if you want the most authentic experience, you have to play it on the handheld that it was designed for.
Yeah, exactly. Well, see, I left it open ended because the thing is, while you can play like Game Boy Advance, like you can play GBA, it's not like while you can play OG Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, it's not going to be the best experience because the screen isn't going to be as big, and it's not going to, you're going to have a black border. So yeah, I was just curious, but yeah, people really like the Game Boy Advance and SP. I like the SP because it's portable. Yeah, no, definitely, dude. Like, 100%, I could for sure play like all this stuff on my Steam Deck, and it looks, and it looks great. It probably looks the best, right? But it's just kind of like for the nostalgia, like the weight and the feel of the device. That's all. So yeah.
Which version of the Steam Deck do you have? Do you have the OLED version or do you have the LCD?
I have the LCD.
Okay, and yeah, it still looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen anything with an OLED screen, so I don't know what I'm missing.
Really? You never seen like the OLED Switch or the original PS Vita?
Not in person. I've seen it on camera, but I don't think the camera does it justice.
Yeah, no, that camera's not going to do anything. You have to see yourself. Yeah. Go to like Best Buy or something, and next time you're there, and look at the OLED screens.
Yeah, but you're an old man now, so your eyes can't tell difference anyway.
No, you'll be able to tell difference. Honestly, that's why I like the Vita so much, is because the OLED screen was
the original nice. Vita, not the
the original Vita. That's the thing. I was disappointed when they came up with revision and they got rid of the OLED screen because I thought that was one of the primary features.
I wish the second version of the Vita had the OLED screen because the second version is much more comfortable, because it's lighter and stuff. So
okay. Well, I only had the original version, and I was never going to get rid of
that. Yeah, you would probably prefer the second one if it had OLED screen, just because it was it just refined and lighter.
Well, you could probably do these days is get a replacement OLED screen for it.
Oh, I don't know if the casing would fit or not. Yeah, probably.
No, they're pretty much standard actually sizes. So you probably have no problem swapping out a screen. You could do it definitely with it's very easy to do it with any of the Game Boys. In fact,
yeah, anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
How many respond? Oh yeah, that's right. I won't say here. We got 94 votes, but no. So it's kind of like people are choosing comfort, compatibility, and portability. That's kind of kind of interesting. So yeah. Thanks everyone for responding. There was just kind of a little fun, kind of like a little fun like side thing. And Gandalf showed up.
when I upgraded that original Evercade with the IPS screen, that was just a PSP screen.
Yeah,
dude. Sometimes I wish we could take the EXP and put it into like the OG shell and have the D-pad and the buttons and have the power switch like that. Yeah,
I should I should upgrade the Evercade EXP with an OLED screen. See if that could do that.
I could probably do a whole video on why I wish that the mistakes that they did for the redesign with the EXP. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's talk about some news, and I'm glad Rich is here because I did see his video, and so I know he'll have strong opinions. I mean, I know he pre-ordered one of these, but so
that's what I was wondering if Rich pre-ordered one of these.
I did indeed.
Yeah. Well, he did. Oh, okay. So what do we got here? Oh yeah, the Atari Classic 50.
Yep, the Atari and the Techno Super Pockets.
I like the look of the Atari, the non-wood grain Atari.
Well, I would have if I was. I'm not buying any of these, but if I was going to buy one, I would have bought the wood grain one only because it had wood grain.
No, I don't mind it. I just like the nice contrast of the. I always wanted an Evercade.
The red and the black.
The black and red. I wanted the Evercade to look like this, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I wanted this one to.
You can't pre-order these yet, though, right? Like these.
No, you
the
can only.
Atari and the Technos regular editions are 31st.
Yeah, I'm waiting for
Yeah,
that to come out.
You can only pre-order the limited Atari one.
Yeah. So red is my favorite color.
Well, you can't anymore.
Is it sold out?
It is.
Yeah,
That's what I
so
was
red's
gonna
my
ask.
favorite color. So like I knew I would love that. And I've said from day one I wanted a red and black Evercade. Remember that, Rich? Like I always wanted a red and black like this. So
well, I mean, they almost had it with the original, right?
Yeah. But it's got a white back, right? It's only got a black
right? They just used the faceplate. They changed the faceplate on it.
Yeah. So what's the other one? Like the other one was pre-ordered. I saw it on Funstock. There was 2 things you could pre-order. What's the difference between the 2 pre-orders on wood grain?
Oh, so the wood grain, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so
why was there 2 pre-orders? Is one a special wood grain one?
No, they're both just the wood grain model, but there was a bundle that came with the Super Pocket case.
Yeah, it was one came with a case.
And it was $5 off if you bought the.
Oh, so you save $5 if you bundle.
Yeah, but
here's
the
the thing.
thing was now so as far as like a fun stock bone to pick.
Yeah,
there are sometimes when a pre-order product is early to pre-order, so they'll list it as sold out until like they unlock the SKU.
Yeah.
And they forgot to unlock the SKU for the bundle, I guess, like the morning that the pre-orders went live. So I thought that the bundle had already sold out by the time I got to do my pre-order, which was only 2 hours in. I was like, wow, that sold out really fast. So I was like, fine, I'll just pre-order the Super Pocket.
Yeah.
And then went later on and found a link that brought me back to the bundle, and the bundle was pre-orderable at that point. And I was like, oh man, well, I don't want to cancel and then see because it might sell out. I got called for it was at work. That was all this.
Yeah, it was sold out when I checked that one. And I'm like, oh, okay. So
yeah, I got called on a ticket, came back, and then it was actually truly sold out. So I have no idea how many of those bundles that they actually set aside, but apparently it was only 2,600 total of the wood grain units.
So that's pretty cool that they did that.
Like, the price, I ain't gonna pay $77 for that.
Yeah, well,
no.
That's like over $100 Canadian, right? Like,
I mean, well, technically, I think I paid $74 for this thing right here in my hands. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I paid $74 for this one.
The limited edition.
Yeah. Because I have the limited Taito and the limited Capcom. I bought them in a bundle. It was $150.
Yeah, I only opened mine like that to make sure that they had the right games on them. Remember?
I went to Amazon because I like this case a little better. I went to Amazon and got these cases.
Yeah, is that the official branded case?
No, this is the unofficial.
There are games on there that we haven't gotten on the Evercade yet, which makes me think there's going to be an Atari Collection 3.
Yeah, maybe.
And one of the reasons is because they're emulating a platform on there we haven't seen on the Evercade yet.
Yeah, the 5200, right?
Yeah, which is the same as the Atari 8-bit computer.
Well, it is. It's the same thing, which I actually really like the fact that there's consistency between 5200 and 8-bit. Like, because, at least with the 5200, they're made for controllers 100%, right?
Yes, that the whole thing with the controllers and the way the 5200 was, the whole reason that whole thing was a debacle is because they had a policy at Atari that allowed executives or whatever to get bonuses for patents that Atari had.
Innovation
patents. So that's why I had all this weird stuff in the 5200. Everybody's trying to get as many Atari patents as possible in this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like this black and red. It's sick.
Yeah. I have very strong opinions, especially about the Atari one. So that's why I'm curious.
Okay, let's chat. You want to wait for us to say what we think?
Yeah.
I have not necessarily the Super Pockets, but
I have no strong opinions.
Implications.
Yeah, I have no strong opinions on it because I did look at the Atari one, because I'm an Atari nut. But I looked at it and I'm like, first reaction was negative for the fact that, okay, it's a rehash of 50 games already owned everywhere else. And I'm like, but then I said, you know what? Actually, 50 of these games, and Atari 5200 for $70 Canadian. I like the look of it, so I'm gonna buy it. Obviously, I'm a Super Pocket fan. I'm just disappointed that it is 50 games that are everywhere else. Like it seems like Atari's just packaging up the same games and putting it on everywhere. But I like it because I like the Super Pocket. So I'm at the end of the day, I would probably give this a 6.5 out of 10 for my interest level.
Well, I figure that the games that are on this that aren't already in an Evercade cartridge will be in an Evercade cartridge one day. So I already got Super Pockets, and if I get that cartridge, then I'd be able to play all the games on any Super Pocket anyway.
I
The
don't
only
think
real
they'll do
reason to
that,
get this,
though.
I think, is if
I
you
don't
like
think
the
they'll do
colors.
that, Crow. I don't think they're going to repackage this as a cart. Like I think
They
want
got Atari 5200 emulation. We gotta have some Evercade collections.
but it'll be
that use
different
that.
games, though. I think it'll be different games.
Even if they're different games, that's fine.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll
agree.
repackage these again. Like I think that would be disingenuous.
I agree with
But
the fact
these
that
aren't Evercades. These are.
I'm just saying. Like I don't think they'll do that. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. I'm just saying I don't think they would do it.
I think they would.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with the fact that we've crossed the 5200 Rubicon with a device that is compatible with Evercade cartridges. So like that in and of itself, running under the same hood, there's no excuse to not have that kind of thing. Get the deal done. Let's get some 5200 games on some Evercade, because it's technically that's something that's already already happening, right? If you're living in the fantasy land of, yes, Super Pockets aren't Evercades, but come on, really, they're kind of Evercades. Kind of
if they say they're not, and they're not Blaze, they're not.
Right.
Until they start calling them Evercade Juniors.
And yes,
that would have been a better name.
You're right. And the deals might be different and all this other fun stuff. But there's some other things that are on the Atari edition that I'd love to see on Evercade as well. Like, I'd love to see, things that were on Atari 50, like Save Mary and some of those Lynx games and like all that kind of stuff. And you could even call it, you could even put out another collection, call it the Atari 50 collection. You know what I mean? And have it be a console collection and have it be a mix of all the stuff that was remaining, right? The stuff that you didn't get on Atari 50 that the Evercade can run. Let's put out a collection with those games, and then you'll get those 5200 games and the Lynx games and all that kind of stuff, And then who knows? I mean, maybe there could be a platform update for the newer consoles, the EXP and VS, and I don't know. Like, did they, do you think that the hardware can do like, big PEMU, so you can get some of those things that were, in the JAG category? Can you get some of those new reimagined kind of things working? In a non-emulated state, could you get those working on, native? Who knows? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, that would be kind of cool to see those games. Like imagine a game like a Vector Sector or something like that, right? Running on EXP or VS.
Can we look at the games on this again? Ed,
actually, there's one game in particular that I
okay.
Ed, scroll down and then you say your piece, because I know you're chomping at the bit to talk.
Okay. So so take it, and I'm gonna kind of repeat something what I said, but so here's the first. So, and I'm getting over the fact that I'm disappointed by that they went with Atari in Techno. I'm not judging it off of, hey, I wish this was a Konami. But here's one thing that we've learned, and here's the pattern of what Blaze is going to do. Once carts go legacy, then they're going to become Super Pockets. I think and they're going to be the easy licenses to get. The thing that sucks is now that Atari owns Digital Eclipse, I don't think we're ever going to see another Atari cart, which is a bummer. But here's the biggest issue that I have with the Super Pockets in general, and I thought it was the screen. It's the D-pad, and here's two things that annoy me about Blaze. One, they put games on here that are going to control like crap that we'll get into. That just like require a trackball. Like I just feel like, hey, let's throw this game on here. The second thing is that the D-pad, like if you need a game that requires precision, like playing Food Fight, you have to change the way you try to when I play on a D-pad, I move my thumb in the middle. And if you do that, I don't know if it's the D-pad or the membranes, but the sensors don't connect right. And it's just you have to it's not as good for precision games.
Which version of Food Fight's on here?
I
think it's a 7800 version. So
that's
going to be fine.
Yeah, like put in your Atari card. So that's kind of the first, and then not only that, the screen Atari sprites aren't that big, and the screen is kind of small. Like even on the Activision collection I have on my Game Boy Advance, they like did the resolution better. So that's kind of the thing, right? I kind of feel like it's Super Pockets.
It'll be fine, even though the Super Pocket screens are smaller. They're a different aspect ratio, so you're not going to get as much of a black border as you would think.
No. It's just it's tinier, right? So it's like, but here's the other thing.
I don't think there's going to be as big of a difference between the Super Pocket and the Evercade, like the handheld.
It is though. Like if you put in the Atari cart, that's why I mean, like I've tested. But here's the thing: in a vacuum, if I wasn't into Evercade and I saw this like in the aisle, I would like freak out and buy this. But the other thing is that like between this and the Evercade, I can between having Atari 50th collection, I can play all this stuff on that and on my Evercade, and because it's not a card only collection, it just doesn't get me excited. So let's get like, okay, cool,
Well,
yeah, we have.
I'm not going to buy the standard editions either. I bought the first two because I was curious about them. I don't spend $60 on handhelds like that.
I feel like this is more of an arcade one-up, and that it's a showpiece. It'll look nice. I mean, yeah, that's cool. We get Berserk Arcade and Frenzy, but things like Cannon Bomber, not excited. Crystal Castles is going to play like Dookie. Like that already plays bad in the Atari collection. Like same with Millipede, same like you know what I mean. Like same with these games, and so.
I think I don't know when the last time you played them were, but they've adjusted the controls since that initial release. They play a little bit better now, actually.
Yeah, but like Liberators.
Though, like let's not like I totally get you guys' opinion, and I agree with what you're saying 100%. But there's like some really good games on this value-wise, right? Like if you're not into, think about it. Take your Evercade hat off. And you're just in it for retro games. There's 50 of these games. I think the majority of them will play really well on the Super Pocket. And for $50, I mean, there's value there, right? Like, I think there's real value there. Whether you agree with what they're doing or not, I think value proposition is probably the best Super Pocket for, like, quality of content and quantity of content. Like, I mean, going through the list, I mean, there's some really good games here. Like, really good games.
They're really, yes, I agree with that.
Is it going to be the same broken Persian song? That was, because that's not a game.
I really hope it's not, but like the Asteroid one scares me. I'm like, is it going to be?
Yeah, actually, that was the other one I was going to bring up. Asteroids. They never fixed Asteroids. We got Asteroids. We should have gotten Asteroids Deluxe. So what would be hilarious is if somebody got this and they actually had the Asteroids Deluxe ROM on here.
Yeah, that would be kind of funny, actually. Like Night Driver is a pretty crappy game. Like I don't like Night Driver.
Yeah, there's people that really like Night Driver, so I can't blame them for putting Night Driver on there. People that love Night Driver, and honestly, the arcade version I think is better than the 2600.
Like seeing games like Bounty Bob Strikes Back for the 5200, seeing Miner 49 or 5200. I mean, I haven't
Bob Strikes Back is actually the sequel to Miner 4020.
And I haven't played Final Legacy. That one I'm a little skeptical on how that will play. But I mean, I've played the majority of these otherwhere. Like Dark Chamber is one of my favorite games of all time. That game is super fun.
And that's the 7100 version. So that was a combo cart game that's on here.
Yeah, and you get an M Network game too.
Which one? I don't remember. Offhand.
Dark Caverns.
Oh, Dark Chambers.
I hope so, but
Dark Caverns. Dark Caverns. It was Night Stalker on the television.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, Dark Cavern is the Night Stalker.
Yeah.
And actually controls better because it's simple, right? It's it's cross movement and shoot in the direction. Like it actually controls better than the intelligent version, in my opinion.
Actually, the intelligent version, you could use two controllers and fire in the opposite direction you're walking.
Yeah, because that's fun. Having two intelligent controllers in your hand. Yeah.
It works. It works.
I know. But having one is bad enough. That and the ColecoVision one.
That's why if you had an Intellivision, you had two controllers anyway.
Yeah.
I think this is great just for Evercade in general to get people in the ecosystem. It's just, again, the thing, my love-hate relationship with the Super Pockets and anything else is that, like, we're not getting the cards, right? That's just like another.
Yeah, I take this to see that we might get an Atari Collection 3.
I would love to. I don't think we will. I think
we will because we've got 5,200 games in here, and we haven't gotten 5,200 games on the Evercade.
Yeah, I mean, but at least it actually is saying that somewhere, somehow, someone at Blaze, be it the Evercade division or not, but somebody at Blaze is talking to Atari, and they're able to get some kind of deal done. So you never know, right?
So, yeah, and the only reason those other carts are legacy carts is just means that they're not making them anymore.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right, and they're not making those specific carts because like as far as some of those carts go, there are deals that are out of Blaze's control that like license wise, Atari can't license some of those games because they either don't have them anymore or they went to somebody different or whatever. It's the same thing that happened with some of the Pico stuff.
No, I agree with that, but I think Blaze does have control. I wish they would just release their legacy collection, like re-release those carts, take off the games that are impeding the license, and then replace those games with other games. Don't put a number on. Just call them the legacy. No, hear me out. Just call them the legacy collection. Make them yellow, and then people like us would rebuy them, and then people who are really wanting them would also buy them.
I'd be pretty mad if I bought a collection that had the same games as another collection, but I'm buying it just because there was a handful of games that weren't in the other collection.
Yeah.
No, I don't like that idea.
You don't have to buy it, and that's what I mean. If they made them like yellow and called them legacy, like non-number, like made them their own thing, but then people who really wanted it could still get it, even though you'd have people complain some games are missing. But I would still probably get it to have multiple copies. Like I wouldn't mind having a Pico, put it in the Super Pocket. like that's where I think a Super Pocket is pretty decent. If you want to bring like a device with you on vacation, like an inexpensive device with you on vacation, and you want, I don't know, but this believe me, like I love Atari and all that, but I think like if I was going to spend $80, I'd rather just spend $50 and get a 2600 plus. But again, to each their own for what they want to get money on. I wasn't as excited. If anything, I was just like, oh, I really thought maybe we'd get like a Konami or like a big IP.
Well, I mean, but also you never know too, right?
Yeah.
This is the deal or the unveil for this particular season of Super Pocket. Who's to say that there isn't a winter season? I know they haven't done it yet, but because the original Super Pockets came out around this time last year. But who's to say they don't do another, like a winter set when then those are some of the bigger, licenses or whatever,
Wait, that would be Super cool. Pockets come out later in the year?
The last year they came out right around the same time.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see any more this year. This is it.
The same time as
they came out of as the usual. They came out in like late September, October, or something like that. School had just started for us when those came in, because I remember like when I did my unboxing.
These are the Super Pockets for the year.
These are the Super Pockets for 2024. But who knows? Maybe these sell better than the other ones, and they go, well, what if we did 4? Instead of another 2.
I actually don't think they'll sell. I really don't think they'll sell better than the other ones, just because the other ones had games on it. All of the games were not on Evercade cartridges.
That's right. That's true. Yeah, that's right. Even the Capcom ones, they were the pack-ins for the EXP.
Yeah, they were on the Evercade.
They were not on cartridge. Yeah. So you're right. You're right on that. But the weird thing was, and they didn't actually. I don't think they limited the limited edition as much as they did this one. But here we have an example of, like, did they do limited editions right this time? Like they limited them to a specific number. People knew the number. They sold out in, what is it, 4 days? Something like that.
Oh, okay. So it was even a few days. I wasn't really paying attention.
So yeah, and it took months for them to sell out of the Capcom and Taito limited edition Super Pockets.
If they even did sell out, because
they list them as sold out now on the website. But yes, you're right. They could have just pulled them from sale.
Honestly, I don't think the limited editions last year. I think the standard versions look better than the limited editions.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a sucker for that crystallized, like, transparent.
Yeah, it's all subjective, right?
Yeah. I'm staring at this Taito edition right now.
But here's the other thing: if this is the deal with the devil that Blaze has to make so they can be profitable, then fine. You know what I mean? That if they have to put out some, because, and this is why
this isn't Blaze. This is
it is Blaze, but it's not.
You're slow, man.
And this is why I say they're like, remember like the original arcade 1-ups, like they didn't really give you the nostalgia. They weren't shaped like, like what Ballistic Coffee Boy is saying is so like if they did something like made it look like a Lynx cart, and you know what I mean, like you would have the nostalgia. But I guess they're limited to the license they can get. But this is just a quick, easy, uncreative, and I'm being honest, like this is a quick cash grab, and that's the whole idea, right? Like,
hey, isn't all of this a cash grab? Is that the whole purpose is to make money?
Yeah. Putting out games, putting out retro games so you can play.
I'd love them to send it to me for free though. Like that'd be nice.
Yeah. So here's one thing that's awesome. So here's one thing that's great, and here's one thing that I first want to call out with the games list, because notice Double Dragon's on it.
I don't like the look of that device though. I don't understand why it's babyish blue or robin blue and white.
The white on
It's
light
fine.
blue.
It feels like blue should be red.
I think it's the very limits of the lightest blue I would tolerate for that.
Yeah, it's a tough one for me. That one.
So here's one thing, and actually, and Pete called Blaze out on this a long time ago, and I wonder if they'll ever admit to this.
They'll never admit that they forgot they didn't have the license. Like they
remember. So like those of you who have been watching us for all, remember like when the VS first came out, the trailer had Double Dragon, like the teaser, and then it went like it went away. And then I remember like Pete called it out and said it's due to licensing. They tried to claim that because Double Dragon doesn't run as good. It doesn't run as good on any device. Double Dragon.
And we knew that was garbage. That was a garbage explanation because they included Double Dragon 3 on it.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. So
but they didn't come up to it, and like Pete called it out and said, no, it's licensing.
They gaslit me.
Yeah. But look,
that's what gaslight means, right?
Yeah. So it is licensing, but here's the biggest complaint that I have with this. In my opinion, for me, the best version, like I love Double Dragon 2. They have every other version but that. And I'm like, really? So that's
so wait,
but it doesn't run well on the Super Pocket Ed. That's why.
Wait, what did you say? What didn't they include on this? What
Double Dragon 2?
They don't have the
version. I see Double Dragon 2 right there.
No, I'm sorry. They don't have the NES version of it. They only have the arcade.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
They took that off. And then they didn't put like the Sega Master System, which would have been great, but they have, so.
Well, so I would have taken the Sega Master System version of Double Dragon 1 over the arcade version. Because essentially it is that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get 8-bit version of Double Dragon there which is a superior version.
Well, the Game Boy version of, I wonder why.
That runs slow as butt on, like, that game does not run well.
Is that the only Game Boy version on here?
Which is great, and then we get Super Dodgeball. So here's
that's got to be the arcade version, which would have been better than the NES version.
Yeah, because they don't specifically call out 16-bit or 8-bit on that one.
No,
it should just say arcade if they were going to do that. But.
Yeah, I don't know, like what they're doing, what mind games they're doing with this one.
Yeah, but here's what I like about this.
Because look, the Super Spike V-Ball. Is that an arcade?
That's the NES.
That looks like the NES version.
Yeah.
So, and that doesn't say 8-bit.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Super Spike V-Ball, I think Super Spike didn't they have the chibi characters in Super Spike on the NES?
I've got looking at my. I'm looking at my.
I can't remember if there was an arcade version of Super Spike V-Ball, but I thought that was an NES.
That looks like the NES one because I'm looking at my NES complete in box right now. It's right beside my desk.
I guess I could look it up.
But at least, so the good thing about this, people who want the Technos collection and don't want to pay no money, can get this. So here's the reason why I'm considering this is that there are times where, hey, if I do want to bring a Super Pocket on vacation, I'm not going to bring my Technos collection with me because that's too expensive. So it would be kind of cool. These are jump out fighting games. They'll play fine with the D-pad. So I possibly thought about I might get this one maybe for that reason. But.
Yeah. I think plus you can finally play Double Dragon Arcade.
Actually, there is an arcade version of Super Spike.
That doesn't look like the arcade version. I don't know.
You know what's funny is I looked it up and it's got a different name. The arcade version's got a different name, so it's got to be the NES version.
Yeah.
But I hate the fact that if these weren't going legacy, I'm like, I see where we would have gotten Technos Arcade 2. I really wish we would have gotten them.
Yep. I'm okay with this one. I'm not too in love with the color choice, but I can get over that. I I'm more excited about the Atari collection, to be honest with you, than this one because I played all these games to death. Like I love Double Dragon. It's one of my favorite franchises, but I've played it so much now, so I'm gonna get it, but it's not as exciting to me as the Atari collection.
I'm not getting either of them.
Yeah. No, for me, if it was like a Konami, then I would just have to get it just because of like nostalgia, like that. Like it's Konami.
Yeah, that would have been a bombshell if it was a Konami collection.
Yeah, it would have been crazy.
Or
No,
like Sega or something. My God, yeah, that's what I mean.
The
Yeah.
Konami Pachinko collection.
well, the weird thing is, if it was a Sega collection, that whole blue and white thing, that would have been good for Sega.
Mm.
Or you know, what would have got me excited, and especially like if they imagine if this was a Neo Geo Pocket. Yes, it wouldn't have the clicky stick, but the sprites are big. Like it would. Oh my God, that also would have been. Awesome.
I don't like, a lot of people love that. I don't really. I'm not a big fan of that clicky stick thing.
Yeah,
that
I like
that thing. But like honestly, with the Neo Geo stuff, you want an arcade stick anyway because that's what the original hardware came with. They only had that clicky stick gamepad thing when they came out with the Neo Geo CD, and they were making a cheaper controller.
The clicky pad is pretty cool though for Neo Geo.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, again, if it has to make Blaze money, it's fine. It's always that love-hate relationship.
You want that? You
Blade
can
isn't
I think it's 8-bit though. Somebody makes
Yes.
actual Neo Geo gamepad
Yes.
thing, and that'll work on the Evercade VS.
Not yet. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where happy for people that want these. These are more for collectors, and I think people not like in the Evercade ecosystem. But
Yeah, I think it's either somebody who really likes those kind of games and sees that and is like, "Hey, I'm going to spend $60 on this as an impulse buy," or it's people that are collecting Super Pockets, and I'm not going to be a Super Pocket collector. I think I'm going with this. I got my 2 Super Pockets. I'm fine. I'm going to wait for cartridges.
yeah, and that's the whole. That's what and that's like the whole thing because, like, again, embedded games aren't as. I don't play like a lot of emulation on my Steam Deck that has like embedded. You know what I mean? And I kind of see this as sort of like that, and that's why I don't get as excited because they're not on the cart. I don't know. It might just be an ed, an ed thing or whatever. But again, like going on vacation, yeah, I'm gonna bring a super the portability of it and the fact that it's only $60 is great. I think the other thing that's interesting is that it gets in the price of like a Miu Mini and all that stuff. So I don't know. It's like it just kind of depends. Like 'cause I feel like people in the retro scene do know about emulation. There are people that like officially licensed stuff. I was just with still having to wait to the end of the month. I was just really hoping this would be like something else to get excited about, right? That's to get. But.
I don't know, but if you think about it, it's like if
I'm
they're
pretty
putting all
hyped.
this stuff on Super Pockets, all of a sudden now, and you want to play these games, all of a sudden now you're carrying around 4 Super Pockets instead of
Mhm.
1 Super
Yeah.
Pocket and a handful
Yeah,
of
you're gonna
cartridges.
need like the Super Pocket case to carry all your.
Super Pocket carrying case.
Yeah.
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 So why do we think that there's only one special edition this time?
Because they couldn't think of anything else, and the other
Yes,
ones didn't sell very well.
Exactly. Yeah. Because with the Atari grain, you can play on people's nostalgia and tug at those nostalgia strings, and it's worth.
But here's
right?
the thing: is like I still like as much as I like the wood grain, I'm not sold on it because they didn't make it look like the original console. They didn't make it the wood grain. The Atari 2600 is the one they had the wood grain, and other than there just being wood grain on it, it doesn't look like an Atari 2600.
Yeah, but my arcade did the same thing, and I think
I didn't buy that either.
Somebody else did. They had a console look just like it. But it was actually like it was like longer. It wasn't like the Game Boy style. It was more like a PSP style.
The only company that got it right was Atari when they came out with the Atari 2600 Plus.
Yes, that was pretty good. I mean, I like the VCS wood grain. It does look like a more modern version of a 2600.
Plus, I could get wood grain vinyl and sticker, and just put wood grain vinyl sticker on it. That'd be good.
Well, here's another reason, and here's what I'm hoping, because for me at least, the main Atari carts that I want anymore, the 2600 Activision collection, and they're not first part. So maybe we get that as a physical cart at least. That's
Facts.
You never know.
That's really what I want from Atari. Is I want that. Like that would be like totally, that would be totally awesome. No, but I was gonna say, I feel like with Super Pockets, like I think I only see myself owning one or two of them. Like I think it was like Crow's Point. Like if you have like a bunch of these, like it becomes impractical.
Hey,
Yeah, I mean,
I got it.
outside
This would
of,
actually
like,
look
the
better. Look
big-
at this. It's black wood grain.
Oh
That
yeah,
would look good. on
The
a Zcad
Vader.
Yeah, well, the Vader didn't have the wood grain, but
I
this
know, but-
black, you could put this on your Atari, the front plate, and you'd still have black, but it'd be a black wood grain.
I mean that'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool.
So it's,
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it's not that expensive on Amazon. I got rolls of this stuff.
No, and then I have the other theory too that I think the reason why we won't see like a better Super Pocket because they want you to buy the EXPR, like they don't want to make it
well,
nicer.
yeah. I mean, now we're getting real close to that kind of price point. You know what I mean? Even the EXPR is only $30 more, $40 more, or whatever.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, hang on a second. If they wanted you to buy the XPR, why even come out with the Super Pockets? Why not put them on cartridges? Hey, in fact, a lot of these games are already on cartridges. Why not just remind people, hey, these games are on cartridges. Buy it or bundle it with the XPR.
I don't know. That's a great question. I don't know. It's kind of a weird. That's why I say I love hate relationships with these devices because they're trapped. Even like the EXP with the Capcom collection, like it's trapped. It's trapped on there. But again, my own personal. For me though, of the embedded collections, the Capcom is still like my favorite, probably because I can play it on the EXP and I can plug it in through HDMI. But like we can't do that with the Taito collection.
Yeah.
So sad. So sad.
Yeah, that's why I want a Taito cartridge.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and you never know. You never know. I mean, it could wind up being something that winds up happening. I mean, as we're further and further away from,
and to be honest,
the Super Pockets,
playing
and
those games on a TV, Evercade, Blaze isn't stopping me from doing that. If I really wanted to do that, I can do that. I just do it through some other method.
Of course. Well, see, and that's what I mean. Like that's why I'm conflicted about this because I'm like, yeah, I could play all this stuff through EmuDeck and connect it to my TV. And
well, even if you didn't want to resort to downloading ROMs and stuff like that, there's a Taito collection on Switch.
yeah,
You can do that.
that's true.
Yeah. So that, and I think there is like a lot of people out there who are like in the retrospect, they have a Switch and they use that kind of for that reason, right? Spanky's class. But yeah, so at least we got the these announcements, but we still what are we only waiting on the announcements of 2 more carts?
Yep, and those will happen on the
2 more or
31st.
4 more?
That'll be my prediction.
What is?
It's the
We don't
September
have-
carts. Oh yeah, in December. This is just the December carts we
I
have.
think that's what I thought. There were 4 more.
Yeah, there's
cards
4
we're waiting
carts.
for.
September and December,
Yeah.
and we'll get the September announcement in July. After they announce shipping for VS and EXPR. So we'll get that announcement by the end of July for the September carts. We already know the November carts, and then the December carts we'll get the announcement when the September carts come out, when they ship. I think that's where the cadence would be.
Immortal, that is kind of like the immortal question. That's what I want to know. Why do publishers not want us, why do they not want us to have control on playing that Evercade cart on any Evercade device? That is
It might be.
the question.
It might have to do with licensing agreements with other companies or something.
Yeah, I actually read somewhere about Capcom specifically, where if you are considering your device as a video games console, then licensing is different if you consider the licensing for a toy.
Right.
So if they consider the Super Pockets a toy, then you can get the licensing for that. But if it's a video games console, then the licensing is different. And maybe they got around it with the EXP, where they said, well, the EXP is a toy, and you're not going to be able to take the games off of the toy, and that's how you get the licensing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure. That makes sense. But what about the Switch though? Like the Switch gets physical copies.
Well, that's Switch's Nintendo.
They might, yeah. Well, they might be.
Yeah,
Again,
like,
well,
I mean,
Capcom.
it-
That's
it's like-
Nintendo, but Capcom's the one publishing that as well.
yeah,
Maybe
and
they
that-
won't
but
do it because they want
that's-
to. They would want to
that's-
publish it themselves.
that was the other argument that I've read about that. It's that as far as publishing agreements, they want to be able to publish their own carts. So, and if that cannot be possible or something that Blaze does not want to do, then that also will cause some, some consternation.
So I'm glad that you said that, because this, again, maybe me putting on my tinfoil hat, but here's what I suspect. I think that maybe with the Super Pockets, they don't cost, like, they're made cheaply and they're at the $60 price point. So I think they can get more money to Capcom. I think that they could do a cart deal. I just don't think Blaze would get as much of a cut. That's kind of my thing.
Well, they probably would have to raise the prices of them and not be able to use the excuse that it's a bigger cartridge.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't be able to put as many games on it, maybe just because the licensing fees that Capcom's asking for games on a cartridge are more. Maybe they're the ones that want to be able to have more control over the cartridge they're releasing. It's that kind of thing. This is almost like NES, Nintendo stuff all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Where like Blaze wants to be the ones to be in control of the cartridges they're making, but these third-party publishers would prefer it if they were making the cartridges themselves and not paying anything to Blaze. They want to make the profits off the cartridges themselves.
Well, let me ask you all this, and I'll ask the chat, because my answer is I would be fine with this. What if they did? Let's say if they did come out with a collection of a big publisher like that, and let's say they did like a Capcom cart or a Taito, and they did 2 collections with 4 games each. Would anybody be disappointed? I mean, I would be fine with that. I mean, yes, you'd want more games, but I think that would still be acceptable.
I don't know.
It would depend on what games they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't make that judgment without knowing the games, and it's so subjective. And if they don't get the right mix, they would probably sell very few, because I think they go for trying to, with their collections, have a couple games that speak to every type of gamer to get the most and maximum amount of purchases, in my opinion.
Yeah, but if it's or 5 games, yeah.
Here's the thing. It's like I'm thinking about things that I don't need to think about. All I need to think about is if I want to buy a collection they release or not.
Oh,
Can the Super Pockets? No, I don't. I mean, I don't know if they can be ROM dumped.
oh, Crow can do it.
Why would you want to do that, though?
To get the games
Yeah,
off.
I mean, you could.
Well, I guess.
Yeah, there's no point in doing it because you
Download
can
the
already get
Well,
them.
I mean,
out.
unless these ROMs were patched, you know what I mean?
Yeah, unless
if they
there
put in
they were
a lot of
altered
work and
versions
those
of the ROM.
ROMs are objectively better than
But here's the
other
thing,
cartridges,
is
then
I
yeah.
love how Rich just stated obvious when Ed goes, "Why would you dump the ROMs? Why would you do that?" Rich goes,
Well, here's the thing. It's like, yeah,
"Huh?"
there is a device I have. I have a handheld Oregon Trail device.
Makes me
Here's the
laugh.
thing, though. The ROM it uses is an NES version of the Oregon Trail. And people would want to get their hands on that ROM because there's that's not a ROM that exists that's out there. But I have no idea how to get it off there.
Yeah.
I just don't like dealing with ROMs anyway, because I never know where to go get them, and I'm scared of viruses and all that stuff. So I've always been officially licensed dude.
Yep.
What ROMs
Me,
you
it's
want?
about
I could get you.
For me, taking time and synchronous kind of what it.
Crow's
kind
got
of
the
what
hookup.
Yeah, I can get them.
I have no idea. Like on Steam Deck, Ed's always saying get EMU Deck. I said, yeah, but where would I get the ROMs? Like, I have no idea.
You know how Emu Paradise took down all their ROMs?
Yeah.
They didn't take down all their ROMs. They only disabled the links to be able to get them.
I'm to the point where I wouldn't even know how to put ROMs on.
Why would
I'm like, I have no idea.
that's a dangerous game to be playing? Because if it can be proven that they're still on their servers, they're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
I just like the
I
fact
have-
that even on Super Pocket on this little tiny screen, I just rolled the score on Asteroids.
Yep. Well, that's your game.
Love it.
That's your jam.
But it's also like, it's also like another thing is like, did I just prove to myself that I actually enjoy playing on Super Pocket because I'm playing my favorite 2600 game on a little tiny device with a little small screen. I'm like, yeah, I could do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, for me though, like I feel like I have like all the good games I would want to play on that. I mean, yes, there's some other ones that aren't there that you can, but you can play them on Atari 50. Maybe if I didn't have Atari 50, would I? I don't know. But
I have
if I
Atari.
didn't have Super Pocket, maybe. But yeah, like you just put the existing Atari card in there and you can play them.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I'm about
with
to buy
Super
Atari
Pockets.
50 twice.
The whole thing with the Evercade is to be able to collect physical items.
Yeah.
The Super Pockets are not that. I'm not collecting Super Pockets. I want to collect cartridges.
It's true. That's true.
And
I kind of want it like that.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because it was like the reason why I think for me it was fun that the Capcom collection was on like the EXP is because like I wanted a better handheld anyways. I wanted a better screen in that form factor, and so I was like, oh, we just get these bonus games. I was going to buy this anyways, whether it had those games on it or not. So that's kind of the difference. Now I feel like we've kind of gone the other direction. It's like, oh, those Capcom games are still trapped in there, but it's like, I don't know. And I guess that's what I'm kind of getting at. Once you have a Super Pocket or something else, like I don't think you need to necessarily get another one unless you really want those games because you can play all your existing Evercade.
But there's still, but the thing is those are games that you can still play somewhere else.
Exactly.
It's not like these are games that you can only play on the Super Pocket.
No.
And it's not like the Super Pockets are cheap enough where it's just like, it's like nothing. It's not like a $20 device. It's a $60 device. And I'm not going to pay $60 for a device that is games locked on it that I can still play other places.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's why for me, like I found like I mainly play my Super Pocket, like if I'm gonna take it somewhere with me. And it's because I don't want to I don't want to bring my expensive Steam Deck, or I don't want to lose my special. You know what I mean? It's a cheap device that I could lose bringing on a trip. That if something happened to it, I wouldn't feel as sad. And I'm being serious. You know what I mean? I'm being serious. I just don't. I don't know. But with that said, it is a lot of fun to kind of pick up and play if you want to. But like around the house, though, for me, like why would I do that when I have like an EXP or an XP? If I want to play in a handheld mode, just like even the other day, I picked up like the OG Evercade handheld for the first time because you can play Donut Dodo on it without the slowdown, and you can play through HDMI like without the weirdness between the levels, and like that felt so good. I don't know. I think you said it before, Pete, that like the Blaze like really nailed it with the comfort of like the OG.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Evercade.
Yeah.
I was playing on the OG on the 4th of July.
It's more comfortable for me than the EXP.
Yeah.
Really?
It really is.
I
was impressed.
For me, I actually prefer to play on the XP than the Super Pocket.
No, I'm talking about the original Evercade.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's more comfortable than the EXP. I mean, the EXP is comfortable and all, but yeah.
I don't know. I guess I haven't played on the original enough to.
Yeah, like the buttons are so good.
Oh, you didn't have the original?
No, I do. I just haven't played on it because hey, once the VS came out, I might.
Yeah, that's true. You're a VS boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the VS too, but it's just no. But I feel like the OG Evercade is like very comparable to the VS controller. Like I love that. I just wish that they would have still stuck with that with the sliding switch. Like I kind of feel like I don't know. Like looking back, they just should have made like the EXP should have been like the OG Evercade, just with better internals and a better screen.
Well, the whole thing was like the VS kind of ruined that for the XP because with the VS they had that switch and it has to do with you can't really have an on off, just cut the power to it because of the ability to update. So you don't want to be able to. You don't want it to be like writing to a cartridge or updating, like something's updating in the background without letting you know, and then just cut the power. And you don't want that to happen. So that's why they have the switch designed the way they have it designed. And because the EXP is pretty much exactly the same as the VS, you got to have the same kind of switch on it.
Cool. Hey guys, I've got to head out. Time to go in to do some work. Later. Bye.
All right.
Later, Pete. You have to channel. We'll have cool stuff next week.
Yeah. Later. Bye.
See you, man.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. See, I don't think that's the key because like the Super Pocket, it has that design. You know what I think it is.
The Super Pocket doesn't have Wi-Fi connection. That's why.
But I don't. But that doesn't matter though. It's just yeah.
So it's not going to be connected to the internet and downloading updates or anything.
Yeah, and there isn't any risk other than in the middle of a long save. There isn't any real risk that if the power is cut off immediately, that there's going to do damage to the cart or the system.
Yeah, you'll just damage your save state instead.
Right. No, I understand. I understand what you're doing. That makes sense to me because like even on like laptops or whatever, none of those devices have anything but a push to hold or push to restart kind of power.
Yeah, even think back to like the older Windows, like Windows 95 and such. There was a reason there was a message that would come up that said it is now safe to turn off your computer. Because back then, computers had the same type of just totally on, totally off switch.
Mm-hmm.
These days, the computer, you hit the power button, it doesn't just immediately turn off. It prepares to turn off.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what the Evercade's doing.
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense to me now.
Yeah, or what they needed to do is make it so maybe you could like lock the power switch in place, something so it can accidentally be, you know what I mean, like pressed, like I don't feel confident putting like the XP like in its case and in my bag, without it turning on.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be possibly a plastics hardware revision to try to prevent that button from being pressed or held in while in like a case or a pocket or something like that. I agree with you there, Ed. Because there's tons of different times where I've traveled with the EXP where like I'll get off the plane or I'll bring it out of the car after a long trip. I put it back in the case and the thing is on and it's hot in there. It has turned itself on somehow and it's like that's could be better.
Yeah, it's a design flaw. It's not like you can remove batteries or anything to prevent that from happening.
If you use the switch, then they could have designed like something like what the Steam Deck did, where they made it like embedded, right? Where you can't like press it. That's what I mean.
It's a design flaw of the system, and it's something I don't think they corrected in the XPR because I think it looks exactly the same. If not, it might be sticking out even further.
I mean, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, I think it still kind of goes back initially where sometimes Blaze tries to do too much too quickly because like the Super Pockets. Not the Super, but like the EXP was definitely rushed. For when it came out, and what's kind of funny.
What makes you think it was rushed though? What other than the power button? What was rushed about it?
Well, here's I think with the first batch of them, like there were some people that they did have like maybe they did have like battery issues and other things, and I had to get those exchanged. But I kind of feel like with the special edition, we kind of got like the 1.5 because they had a longer time to kind of work out like some of those kinks, have later firmwares. And all that, so I kind of feel like we had to wait, but we kind of got lucky that, not going to what I.
I think that's just firmware thing. I'm talking about like hardware design.
Yeah. But no, I think that the problem was I think that somebody thought that hey, we can't design something close to what we have. We have to completely design it differently. And that's where I think they kind of like lost the sight of like what made like the initial like OG Evercade like really special, and they forgot about important things like having the button be. Like the power button, like that's crucial, right? Like you can't accidentally press that for a portable device. Like why was that ever? I don't know. But then again,
they just didn't think about it. That was something they never tested. They never hey, throw this in a bag and see what happens. Dude,
as much as I love Blaze, that's what I mean. Sometimes they don't think like they're throwing a bunch of Atari games on a Super Pocket that isn't going to play well. They put computer games.
And it is kind of
that you need
kind of bigger for a handheld device.
Like
as big as it is, I can still fit it in a pocket. But if it's going to fit tight in my pocket, it's going to turn on.
But like that's my point. I keep seeing that like something like I feel like there's like a lot of like afterthoughts. Like you know what I mean? Like why weren't these like they're just like things that I feel like as like gamers, right? Like we would have caught that. Like how come that's I don't know. I just feel like there's some like I don't want to say common sense things that Blaze doesn't always catch, and it makes me nuts, right? I mean, to their defense, they will put out like one-day patches and all that. I don't know.
What would have worked is for sure. I think is if there was some sort of lock button, power switch lock.
Yes.
So you flip a switch, lock the power switch so it can't be activated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly, and that's kind of the.
That would have been a simple solution to that issue. rather than reset. Because even if you recess the button in, if you put it in a pocket and you've got other things in your pocket, it might still get hit.
Yeah. And so, and that's like going to the super pockets. I don't know, like, is Blaze just releasing these to get to the masses, or do they understand that like their primary competition is something like the Mayu Mini?
Global Hyper Meganet.
Not Blaze.
You know what I mean? Like, I wonder, like, if they put in just like a little bit bigger of a screen, a little bit better quality of D-pad membranes. You know what I mean? Like, would that, that might be more appealing to more people. I don't know, but then again, they don't want you buying that over the EXPR.
I don't know. It's not. Well, no, they don't.
Problem.
That's a different company, and it's supposed to be just this cheap device with a handful of games on it that may be supposed to be an impulse buy item. It's supposed to sit on a shelf, which I've never seen sit on a shelf in a store, where people be like, "Hey, I like Technos games. I like Atari games." I think the Atari more people would recognize the Atari ones and pick that up. Hey, 50 Atari games, I'll buy that. And I can almost see the value of 50 Atari games for $60.
Yeah.
But me personally, I see $60 as like, this is too much. Even those My Pocket Arcade ones that are $40, I think those are too much. I only buy them if I see them on clearance.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think though, because I've played some of those My Arcade devices, and here I am, like, and we're an hour in, and I'm still playing Asteroids on the Super Pocket. There is no way I think I would be still playing Asteroids on one of those My Arcade devices, because I've played on those before, and they do feel cheap. You know what I mean? Like, like they feel like more rigid, more plasticky, more like if I'm gonna be jamming on these buttons, something's gonna break.
You know what? I think they're fine. Well, here's the thing. Wait, before you get into that, I'll just say that I've had the Pac-Man Super Pocket. I had it in my winter coat, inside pocket, for years. I never took it out. But when I hung my winter coat away for the winter, it still stayed in there. And it's fine. It doesn't feel like it's gonna break.
Well, yeah, no. I
mean, for a slightly better Super Pocket. What is a slightly better Super Pocket? Does that mean more games, or what? What does slightly better mean?
Well, no. I mean, I wouldn't pay $99 for a slightly better Super Pocket. I'd pay $99 for a VSR.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just buying an EXP.
No, here's the thing, though. The EXPR doesn't cost $99. It's bundled with Tomb Raider, which is $25. So it's only.
They're never going to sell They're never going to sell it for anything but $99, though.
Right.
That's not going to happen. No.
But I'm just saying, like, in like the Super Pocket, if you take away the games, it's only a $40. It's really only a $40 device.
Okay.
So I think if they wanted to make a better Super Pocket, I think it would be $80. They would make it make it $80 if it had a 3.5 inch
But then you just bought an EXPR.
Yeah, you're asking for a Super.
You can't go to the $80 price point without it just being buy an Evercade.
See, that's the problem. They would also have to include a cart with it. See, that's what I mean. Like, Blazes, they've put themselves in this weird position, right, where they kind of have a Super Pocket that can only be good enough quality. It can't be the quality of an EXPR. Even if they would have to make a new EXP and
you want an EXP with different built-in games. That's what it sounds like to me. You're saying a bigger screen, but that you're not. That's not a Super Pocket anymore. That's a different device.
No, actually, that would be an Evercade Junior. Like, I would like an Evercade device that has a 3.5 inch screen, and it's a vertical like a Game Boy, and it has good buttons and a good D-pad. That would be excellent.
I mean,
okay, you know what?
I don't know.
Go on AliExpress and pick out whatever emulation device you want with the right size screen you want.
Yeah.
Put whatever ROMs you want on it and be happy.
Well, yeah, that's No, it's funny because last week our rant, was about where the damn Super Pockets, and we have to. Yeah, exactly.
What if they created? All right, so let's live in Fantasyland real quick. So what if they created the EXP SP?
Yes. No.
Dude,
like, legitimately, what if they created an Evercade that could fold in half and fit in your pocket?
Dude, that would be, oh my God, yes.
And it had the 3.5 inch screen or whatever.
Yes. They could do it, and they could still keep it this
They
size.
totally
have
could.
it-
They
yes.
absolutely could. I mean,
It wouldn't be
it'd be
it's just
chunky.
the
It'd be a little
Evercade,
chunky.
SP.
little
You
chunky
don't
in
have
the
to call it
pocket,
the
but-
XP. You could call it the Evercade SP. You don't have to call
Yeah,
it the
yeah,
XP
yeah.
SP.
You call it the Evercade SP,
So
which would be confusing because then it'd be like Evercade Super Pocket. What?
if they did this and they had Tetris, like a Tetris collection as a built-in, oh my god, dude.
It folding in half is not good enough. Oh, and put Tetris on it.
and Tetris.
Well, I'm just saying. Well, because I think with a handheld, I think with the handheld you can put in your pocket. I think they've set the standard where you've got to have some built-in games. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. Is like the original Evercade didn't have built-in games, and the EXP R doesn't have built-in games.
Correct.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I take that back. They do have built-in
Well,
games.
they've got the secret. games.
You have to unlock them. You have to unlock
Yep,
them.
and you've got the unlock games. Yep.
Yeah. No,
So you
that'd
still
be
have
too
built-in games. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that would like the Tetris that'd be icing on the cake. But no, something like this would be good because you could put it in your pocket; it wouldn't get scratched. That's why I love this form factor. You don't have to have another case, or So it just kind of depends what you want. But no, that would be awesome. So it kind of goes back to the Super Pockets aren't for us; they're for the masses to be like in a retro store or to kind of get you into it. But then again, if they are, I almost feel like they're targeting people.
Wait. Hang on a second. You like you're talking about the Game Boy Advance SP. How that's like the perfect handheld device because it folds in half. But
For portability, yes.
Doesn't that have the same size screen as the Super Pocket, if not smaller?
Yes.
It does, but you can put a 2.8, but you can put a 3-inch in there.
So now you want a device that's like the Game Boy Advance SP, but bigger, so it has a bigger screen.
Maybe because well, see, here's the thing. Ambernick has that device, but the problem though is that like they screwed up the D-pad and the buttons. Like they're like very clicky, and every reviewer is just like they've opened that up to try to put in like
they didn't like the SP. They didn't like the Ambernick SP.
Well, but they liked it. The main issue with that is the buttons and the D-pad, because they're very clicky, and you really have to push. You really have to like push on them.
I've probably asked this in the past, and I don't remember what you've said. What is your favorite D-pad? What D-pad is absolutely perfect?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like going like dude, like the VSD. I love the VSD pad like a lot.
Because
like that.
The VSD pad?
I like the OG, like the VSD.
Really? On the controller, you like that one? I don't. It works. Here's the thing: is like I found that everybody has different opinions. A lot of people love the Genesis D-pad.
That's a good one too.
I'm not a big fan of it. I would prefer not. I like like I said, one of my favorite D-pads right now is this one. I'm surprised at how well this one works.
The Steam Deck
on the series,
on the series.
The issue that I have with the Steam Deck and the EXPs, they're sometimes they can be a little bit too slippery. But those are also all those D-pads, and that's what I mean. Like literally, Blaze had their choice of putting in like a better D-pad in the Super Pocket, and they didn't. And with Ambernick, I know they had to have it recessed, but I feel like they just I don't know.
How about this one?
I don't know. Is that good? I'd have to try.
Well, here's the funny thing: is I have video that just went up earlier where I unwrapped this thing and tested it out, and I did not like it with the nub on there at all. And then I played Fatal Run, and I put the nub back on. I was like, hey, this works better with the nub on, but it didn't work for Ninja Golf. So honestly, I don't know if there's a perfect D-pad that works perfectly for every game.
No.
Except for maybe this one. I love it.
Yeah. There's definitely a preference, but kind of going back, I think the problem is that Blaze has put themselves in the section where he's still playing it.
A lot of people.
That's 200,000.
A lot of people like using the Genesis controller on Atari 2600 because they prefer the D-pad on it. I don't. I mean, it just doesn't work for me that well.
So here's what got me more excited. What's it like? And I know like Gen X Grown Up did a video. We had because he had like access to the prototype of the like. There's that new Atari device that's like the portable, like the Game Station Go, where it has like a bigger screen. It has
yeah. I've seen that. Yeah.
That's kind of what I like and that's kind of what I mean. Like that way, all those games are playable. So like the Atari 50th collection looks good for quality, only half of those games, in my opinion, are going to be playable on the Super Pocket, just because even playing like some of those games like Centipede, let's say like on Steam Deck, right? Like with the analog stick, it's a lot better. But we don't even have like but you can't even use like a mouse. Like we don't even, and those games aren't on the VS.
It's like get that mouse and keyboard support in there, especially since you have computer collections now.
Exactly. That's what and again, that's kind of my frustration.
Also, if I wanted to play a console game with a keyboard, why not let me?
Get a sidewinder. Yeah. Yeah, and that's why, like I said, like again, I love Blaze, but there's just these like minor oversights that I question. Again, like Operation Wolf, it's playable on the Super Pocket, but it's really only maybe like fun to occasionally jump in because that's not really meant to play, especially with that D-pad. Like it's kind of playable with an analog stick. You know what I mean? So that's where I wonder, like sometimes I wonder, like again with any company, like who's making the decisions. And with Blaze, it just kind of like I'm like, has somebody actually tested all these games on this device and given feedback saying, yeah, you could release it, but do you want to?
Well, here's the thing: somebody said these are the games we're going to put on it, and then it's your job to make it work as well as you can with the controls. So, and that's what they do, and it might not work out very well, but they did the best they could. That one employee that didn't make the decision of what games are going on it has got to make the games that they said they're going to put on it, make them work one way or another.
Yeah. No, I know. Like, and that's I know that, Ross, and that's why like the Game & Watch is like that traditional D-pad that is just like so perfect. Like I love that. That's
it's like the reason that the Pong is on the Super Pocket because somebody's like Pong. Everybody knows Pong. We got to put Pong on this thing. And then the guy who's working on it, trying to make it work, is like, how the hell am I going to make this work without an analog controller?
Exactly, Crow. It's almost like they just do it for marketing. That's what I kind of mean, just to say that we have it.
Well, yeah, they put it on the back, Pong. Everybody's going to see Pong. A lot of people aren't going to think about how it's going to control. They're just going to see Pong. That's a classic game. It's a good addition. And then they're going to try and play it and be like, and then they're like, hey, this doesn't quite work right. I'm never going to play this again. But by then it's too late because they've already bought the device.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, maybe the last 4 carts, we'll get excited. We'll get excited about. I mean, at least we have 2 carts coming at the end of this month, and the grip. Yeah. Did you guys get the grip?
No.
Yes, I did.
I printed my own.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I bought one because I'm going to print one and then put them both together and see which one I like better.
Ooh, I like that idea.
But yeah, so then the rumors about these other carts,
I got my grip.
I guess it was like the announcements or whatever. I heard from somebody that I guess it talked to Pete over at Blaze. And they said that the announcements were there's going to be something like surprising about the announcements. There's going to be something that's fully expected about the announcements.
Yeah.
And then there's one that's like, we're not sure how people are going to feel about it.
Yeah.
That means people are going to hate it.
Yeah. It was Genejoke.
When are these announcements?
Unexpected. Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So the next announcement is going to be at the release of the EXPR and VSR later on this month. That's for sure. That's because that's the cadence. They release something and then give you an opportunity to pre-order some more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, it always just seems to happen. Listen, it's just like maybe people may think I nitpick at certain things or I look at stuff, and then like last year the Blaze comes out with like Asta Bros and like Duke Nukem, all that stuff, and it's like, oh, forgive me. I
don't know about nitpicking. I think you're asking the impossible. I think you want a device with an 8-inch screen that's like 3 inches in dimension.
Cool, but I don't know. I think Blaze has put themselves in that like we can't see like a super pocket because we have the EXPO. Like if they come out with another device,
it would be the super duper pocket.
Yeah. So
yes,
I don't know. I think what a lot of us are wanting is give me another cart this year where I can get really super excited like I did last year. That's what I want, and I haven't gotten that yet.
I hope that is going to be a thing that
What was
will
the card?
happen. But I think
They
for
got-
many, people that maybe are outside of this Evercade ecosystem, I think that Tomb Raider is a popular enough IP in
Yeah.
the retro space where that is going to be that card for them. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I think. I mean, it's not necessarily for me. It's a huge get, and I'm glad they got it, and I look forward to playing it. But yeah, as far as like like that nostalgia button for me, it doesn't really hit it for me because I mean I associate Tomb Raider with the PC for me because that's where I played.
Really, that's interesting. I always equated it with the PlayStation.
Yeah, a lot of
Because
people do.
the first games, these games originated on a PlayStation.
Yep.
I remember buying the first Tomb Raider. I remember being in a Toys R Us, looking at what games. It's like, what game do I buy? And I bought Tomb Raider based solely on the box art. You know,
Yeah.
took that little ticket,
Right.
took it to the register, had them give me the
Yep.
case, and I went home
Yep.
and played it for a few weeks, and then I was like, got stuck, and I really couldn't figure it. It's like, why am I always running out of bullets? Blah 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 blah.
Well,
And I was like, oh look, I can make her die. Okay, cool. And then I was done.
yeah, and then the same thing I guess happened to me with Tomb Raider on PC, but the PC version had the coolest like box because it wasn't a square box. It had like that weird. It was like a triangle or something like
When
that.
you say PC, which are you talking about, the original one or the ones that came out later on PC?
No, it was like the original release back in the day.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah,
put-
okay.
Yeah, they put it on
At the same
PC.
time, I'm
like-
curious the release dates now.
I want to
Yeah.
say it was like a year after or something like that.
Okay,
Because I got my PlayStation late. I didn't get it until the summer before Final Fantasy VII. Because in my first PlayStation games were Warhawk, Tobal #1, because it had the Final Fantasy VII demo, and then something else.
I'll tell you something.
Twisted Metal.
I was actually 1995 was when the PlayStation was released. July of 1995 is when I entered the military. So I was in boot camp for 6 weeks after that, and immediately went into technical school for 9 months. And
Got it.
while I was in technical school, I saw somebody playing. So I was like not really thinking about stuff that was coming out.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
I saw somebody in their dorm playing. There were a whole group of people, and they were playing Battle to Shinden, Battle Arena to Shinden, the first one on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
This was late 1995, sometime after September, like right when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "This is amazing!" It was the most graphical, like home console leap that I had seen, not including maybe the 3DO. But it looked better than the 3DO because it looked like it ran better than the 3DO.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember seeing it on a demo.
I remember, like within the next couple of weeks, making sure that I went out and I bought a PlayStation. Like I got one like the next year while I was still in technical school. So I think the game I bought with it was Wipeout.
Oh, Wipeout was good.
Yeah.
But see, like, I just want to like point out what Immortal said. Like, that's good to know that people in other channels are talking about Evercade and it's a physical cart. Like that was like, I mean, like I feel like this is last year's like Duke. Like this is something smart, getting everybody talking about it, and then it's not the enhanced version. Like I think this was the smartest thing that Blaze has done so far this year was to get Tomb Raider, and that's like the whole goal. That's like the whole goal, getting other channels like talking about it that normally wouldn't. And like, well, what else is on it?
Well, yeah, each one of these bigger licenses is going to do that. So like that's obviously the hope that they can continue to make those inroads and get those titles that will get people talking about this as an ecosystem. So, that's awesome. But that's why I think that Tomb Raider, as far as like the big get, who knows? I would be pleasantly surprised if we saw another huge announcement. But I am prepared that this year Tomb Raider is the Duke of this year. You know what I mean?
I'm actually showing that Tomb Raider on PC released the same time as the PlayStation version.
Did they release the same time?
It looks like, and it looks like the Saturn version came out at the same time too.
Oh, all right. Well, then that could be a very true statement, because
I just think that
I was still playing PC
because it's
games.
IDOS. Yeah.
Yeah, I was still playing PC games, a lot before I got my PlayStation, But I do remember I got my PlayStation and it was like all but over for my PC.
And it was funny. It's like I think the PlayStation version was just the most popular version to the point
Yes.
I thought it was only released on PlayStation.
Yeah, I
was-
didn't play. But like I know that like the PC version for me is iconic because of that box. Like it just had like I was like, oh, and a lot of
Oh, because they had the triangle, but they had the pyramid box because they released a lot of games like that. Retailers hated that stuff.
Yeah. I
They
loved
wanted their boxes to stand out on the
shelf.
shelf. They were doing all kinds of weird things to make their boxes stand out on the shelves. And there was no standard for PC games, so they'd do whatever the hell they wanted.
Yeah, there was like boxes that looked like T's and like different letters and it was
So
crazy.
I wonder, like what Mike has said, like as far as like like the next year's Tomb Raider, like the GTA top-down collections, especially if they come out with GTA 6, like that would be another huge get, like the PS1.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah, I think I would like that a little less, to be honest, because the top-down GTAs are like they're okay, but they're not as good, and we're not gonna get PlayStation 2 emulation, so.
No.
We're not
Hey,
getting.
who needs those GTAs when you have Motor City Patrol?
So yeah, I mean, I get Blaze is trying different things. Like, hey, we're in the super pockets. We're going after the impulse buy market. We're getting the arcade market, and now we're trying to get
it's not Blaze.
But I don't know. And we can even argue about why the actual not why that's not a hyper mega tech device, but like they're going after these different markets, and
hey,
so
they want them to be separate companies. I'm gonna be like, okay, you're separate companies.
No, they're all the same.
They're all the same.
It's all the same.
No, if it's the same, they wouldn't have called it different. It would say Evercade somewhere on the handheld, and it doesn't. It says Hyper Mega Tech in big letters on the front.
But they had to do it like with licensing and all that. It's like no.
We don't know why they had to do it. I still don't understand what the point of it was.
Because their lawyers are cheeky and they're like, hey,
why are Super Pockets Hyper Mega Tech and Evercade Alphas Evercades?
Because
why are Evercade Alphas not Hyper Mega Tech?
No, because like they probably approached Capcom and like, no, we wouldn't do that too. We wouldn't license anything on an Evercade device. This is a Hyper Mega Tech.
But they already had it on the XP, and now they have it on the Alpha.
Yeah, that's true.
That's an arcade. That's different. I don't know.
Right. That's that whole toy thing, because the argument that I heard about like the toy thing versus the video game thing was with companies like Arcade 1UP, where they classified their things as toys, not video game consoles.
Yeah. Then why isn't the Evercade Alpha Hyper Mega Tech and classified as a toy?
Well, that's the weird thing. I mean,
exactly.
the only reason I see that happening is because maybe in talks with Capcom, they're slowly but surely getting to the point where they're like, we're going to figure out a way to get these carts. So like we're just going to keep doing deals with you. And
the whole Capcom thing it throws everything off kilter because those games were on the EXP. That was an Evercade device. Not only was it an Evercade device, but you could output it to a TV.
That's true. Yeah.
So what? It has nothing to do with Capcom. It can't.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. It's so confusing. I don't know.
No, but I guess
that would be like one of those things that, like, it's never going to happen, but yeah, like that'd be awesome. Like, I'd love to just go to a pub and sit down with Andrew, draw a couple pints, and just be like, why? just like, let me know. Tell me the story of like how frustrating it must have been for him to even get the deals done. You know what I mean?
There's something going on they can't tell people. There's all these weird reasons why. What was the real reason for Hyper Mega Tech? We don't know. Will we ever know? I don't know.
And the other thing about it is, okay, cool. You got Hyper Mega Tech. I'm playing this Super Pocket. I've been playing it now for an hour and a half. Great, awesome, cool. Where's the rest of the products?
Yeah.
If
something that's not a Super Pocket.
Year and change. And all we have for Hyper Mega Tech is more devices that are smaller that do the same thing as an Evercade. And it doesn't make that boggles my mind. Why is it
could be Evercade? The only reason that would have made sense is if it couldn't play Evercade cartridges.
Yeah, but like, where are the board games? Where are the lifestyles things that they said in their original announcement? That's what I want. I want to see where that's going.
That's what I mean. Blaze is quirky like that. That's what I mean. They just do. But here's the thing, though, and I don't know if
And
I
wait,
want.
do you think? And honestly, a board game. How does a board game come out from a company called Hyper Mega Tech?
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
think they just-
It's tech about a board game.
Maybe it's a game that has technology stuff in it. Like
I don't think they ever had anything to do with the board game. They just put no. But see, here's a real thing that could happen, and let me tell you, I don't know if I want this. Let's say Andrew was like, okay, I will answer any questions that you ever have. I will let you all these things that you guys. I'll let you know everything, but we're gonna pull back the curtain, and you're gonna have to sign this NDA. And now that you know the truth, it may alter your opinion, and it may not be as fun. You know what I mean? So then it might kind of be
what
like
fun is it? Honestly, if I can't tell everybody about it, I don't.
Yeah,
want
I
to
mean,
know.
if so, we're in this podcast world. Like, if that was the scenario, and if you're going to ask the question, do you sign the NDA? I don't think so for me, because I was like, well, then I can't. Like I can't really be on Evercast because I would just like annihilate myself. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to do it.
I know the reason, but I can't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, there are certain things that like there are certain things where I live in NDA world, like for various companies, but it's like, oh, okay, well, eventually everyone's going to figure this all out because it's going to be known information. But to be on NDA because like I will have something that I will never be able to talk about. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to do that.
There would be no reason for them to tell you anyway, because you would never be able to do anything with that information.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no point in knowing it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe the only reason you would need to know is if you were actually part of their business, if you were actually like worked for Hyper Megatech or Blaze.
Yep. Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, it's just a pretty wild time.
Do you think what Corny Puddle is saying is true? It was created for some type of tax purposes, tax benefits. Well, see, that's the thing. Here's the thing. Like, it's like whether it's good news or bad news, as long as you talk about me, and that's exactly what we're doing, and we all have fun doing that.
Yeah.
And it puts Evercade out there either way. And I'd like to think that all these things were fairly objective. Like, I would hope, like, you as the viewer watching this, you just wouldn't want to, like, four guys up here just to be yes men being like, oh, this is awesome, Blaze has no flaws, right? I don't think.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, but I don't think we've ever really, we've never been those people.
No.
I mean, like a lot of people, like, sometimes they like to on the interwebs, they like to criticize me as just like liking literally everything ever. But it's just like, but that's my personality. My personality is like I like try to find the cool or the fun in something. And that's different than just banner waving.
Let me ask this. I know I haven't seen all your fun for fives, but have you ever not found the fun in something?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've given the not great to a few games.
Yeah. Okay. So like just an example. What didn't you find fun?
So when I give somebody something a not great, it is most likely because the game is in such a state where I cannot finish. Like I can't actually play the game because they just didn't try. And for me, that's frustrating because it's like, all right, you guys are developers. You're trying to make a game that's fun for people to like purchase and play, and you can't get out the door with a product that literally just doesn't function. Like I can't be with you on that.
The game literally has to be broken to the point to where you can't play it.
Well, to get a not great is probably gonna do that for me. But the other thing though is if I give a game a but like I found some fun, but there's some other things. That's a game that I probably wouldn't wholly recommend to somebody. So like in my rating system, like if you hear me give a game a but, it's probably not for you unless you're like a super fan of, like, say it's a licensed title and you're just a mega fan of the license. Maybe that's why you look at that game. But other than that, that's like for me, if I give a game a but, I'm probably not playing it too much again.
The other reason I mentioned is sometimes I find that games are still fun when they're broken, and it's because they're broken.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Actually, there's a game on Lynx that was kind of like that. There was a driving game that's on Atari 50, and it's almost supremely broken. But I love it because you can just like you drive through walls or do all sorts of crazy stuff that the game's not actually intended to let you do. That's cool.
And the reason I keep playing Vampire Survivors, even though I have all the achievements in it, is because I'm trying to see if I can crash the game.
Nice.
Because I guess I can get to the point to where I can walk through walls because I've gotten the frame rate so low.
Mhm.
And in fact, that's the one level I keep playing again and again to collect eggs. I do it because I can usually glitch the game into making me walk through a wall into a spot that I'm not really originally intended to go and collect thousands of eggs.
Mm.
Cool. Well, I think
Yeah,
we're getting to that part of the show. We probably need to go with final thoughts.
All right.
We'll
Yeah,
leave it for now. Not that it hasn't been awesome, but
No, it's definitely been awesome.
yeah.
So like part of my final thoughts is I'm about to cross over 300,000 in this game that I've been playing. So
Woohoo!
that's
you're playing Atari 2600 Asteroids?
Yes,
Yes.
it's my favorite.
You know what's
version
funny? It was some time ago. I can't remember. I remember playing it and unrealizing that, hey, all of the asteroids are just moving more so vertically than horizontally.
Yeah.
Once I realized that, it was pretty easy to max out the score.
Yep. Well, and with this in this particular version, like your max out is at 900.
Yeah. I think that's the original Atari version,
99,000. So like here. So it's 99,000 whatever it is. So I should be able to roll it without getting hit.
Sweet. So
I
what
could
else?
do the same thing with Chopper Command too.
Nice. What else either this week or next week do you got going on your channel, Rich?
For me, it's more of too many games cleanup. I have tons of footage yet to talk about. We didn't get to talk about Blinding Light today on the Evercast, so I'll probably come on with a little bit of an indie report next week on that game, because I think it's an awesome game and probably would do well to be on a Indie Heroes cart or maybe even on its own. I think it's a fantastic game. So that'll be out this week. Talking about that kind of stuff. And then other than that, I'm trying to do a Super Fun for 5 finally for the Polymega stuff that's been kind of trapped on the Polymega old firmware. And then I'm going to hit the button and finally update it, and then say goodbye to all those games and do some N64, and possibly there might be another module coming into the area to Polymega. So other than that, that's about it. So
cool. What about you, Crow?
Well, I can't say that I have any any Evercade videos coming out anytime soon, seeing as how I haven't really played Astro Bros in the last week or so. But I do have. I did put up a video. Went live earlier today. Earlier this week, I got a ton of packages, and I wasn't even able to go through them until Thursday. But I made a video for the Atari stuff that I got because the Atari package came and it had that gamepad in it. I don't know where I just put it. Oh, here it is. So this one, which I was really interested in, is the European style 7800 controller, which I tried to get a long time ago. But when I realized I was never going to find one on eBay for a decent price, I actually modded an NES controller, but now I have one of these. And then I got 2 games with it. I got Ninja Golf, which I had in the past, but then I also got Fatal Run, which I never played before. So I played some of those games with that control pad just to try it out. I'm working on a video for, because I also got a Steam Deck. So I have a pickup video for that because I got a whole bunch of accessories to go with it. I'm still working on that video. It's going to take me a while to get that one to a point where I think it'll be good to watch. And but then there'll be a part 2 of that too eventually. But yeah, I just have to play more Astro Bros to finally get through it. I must be close. I think I'm close to the end of that game, to be honest.
Nice.
And then I can actually work on a video for that. And then I move on to the next cartridge.
Nice.
Very cool.
Cool. So tonight I have the 4th of July weekend special that moved, and I have these twisty pops that I think they shoot confetti. I don't know. My wife got me. They're going to make a huge mess. Depending if a lot of people show up in the beginning, I'll shoot one of these early on and one at the end or the middle. So that'll be fun.
Are those the same as? Are those just giant crackers? What the British would call crackers?
It looks like it, but like you twist it. I don't know. It's going to make a huge mess in my office. I do have like some.
I look forward to checking that out.
Yeah. Make a huge mess. I'll probably turn off the fan. I don't know, but like, yeah, either
You
the
should definitely turn off the fan.
What,
If this is gonna be things
No,
flying
leave
all
the
over
fan
place.
on. Leave the fan on.
God. So yeah, I had to move that since I was in Corpus Christi at the beach, and I do have some like leftover wine coolers. So I'll be having a few of those. Someone's like, "Are you gonna get drunk like last time?" I'm like, "Well, maybe." They have 7% alcohol in them, so I'm gonna be, so that'll be fun. And we'll be playing some Evercade. We'll be playing all kind of like Evercade adjacent games and all that fun stuff. And then next week, I'm not sure. Definitely how an Evercade video will come out. It might be, I don't know. We'll see. That's all I can say. I think I'm going to do something. Maybe not next week, but I'm going to make a video saying, let's fix this Donut Dodo version of Evercade. Or maybe make something on that, kind of comparing the different versions. I don't know, but I think that's what I got going on. But yeah, stay tuned for tonight, 9 p.m. Central. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Let the games begin. Leave the fan on and super glue first. Oh, RGB TV snuck in here. Awesome. Good to see you. Yeah. I don't know. I'm like really hesitant to like, I just don't want to, it's going to get this front area because I don't want it to like, it's going to be a disaster, but yeah, I'll do it for you guys. All right. So I think that's all we have to plug. As always, I like to say, I always like to thank everyone. I'd like to thank you guys for your time. Thank everyone who's watching us. That's like the most important thing is without our audience, it's like we got nothing. I mean, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
And all
It's
that.
always good to have you guys.
Heck yeah. So yeah, gonna go ahead and thank channel members to play us out, and thanks everyone again for joining. And bye.
See you.
Anything else you want to say, Crow?
Oh, yeah. No.
Thanks, Crash Line, Mr. Shua, Immortal Sojourn, Sucker MC, Ember Cummings, Joe Whitlash.